Okay, so this video is a bit more educational than just purely enjoyment. Because today when I went out to the beach, which was a bay beach, I had a very typical representation of how targets are left in the sand. So I decided to come back home and put down on this piece of cardboard exactly the way the targets fell when I searched for them today. So I went to a bay beach which had an incoming tide. I'm actually almost 3 hours above low tide, so the tide was way up. But I still did see sections of what we're trying to look for when we scanned over a beach that we're first about to metal detect. And I'm going to go to the water line first, because I'd love to see what's telling me at the water line first. And at the water line, in about the first 4 feet towards the beach, there's a lot of soft sand. So when I was stepping on it, I was sinking in it, and there was nothing showing up in it. No stones, no shells, no debris. So it was a very typical sand dump area. Now for this in particular, I don't tend to usually like to stay there because the heavy targets don't usually stay in there, especially if I don't see any stones on top. So typically I will run through it, and sometimes I'll run a straight line. If I'm starting to hit some targets, I will zigzag. But in this particular instance, the first couple things I was hitting were all bottle caps and pennies, bottle caps and pennies, and there were lots and lots of them. Targets were everywhere. Now, if I don't have a lot of time, I'm going to try to avoid this area because I don't want to spend that much time picking up all these targets. My goodwill and my instinct, if I start pulling bottle caps, I'll keep them. I'll put them in my bag, and it just takes too much time. So I'm gonna move a section up. The second line I hit, I did see had some very random stones and shells in it. It wasn't jam-packed with stones. If I see a section that just has stones everywhere, I'm gonna hit that section hard. This one had random stones and shells showing up on the surface. So that typically means things have started to collect here of some weight. Not more than 3 minutes after I started hitting that area, I hit my first lead weight. And that is a heavy lead weight, so it's definitely telling me, as of now, although it's only one target, we could possibly have some heavier weights lining up here. Now, this particular weight, when I hit it first, it was deep. It was about 13 inches. So I'm also going to keep in mind that that first weight was low. And you'll see on my video of all this, which will come on this Saturday morning, it wasn't more than 5 feet away did I hit immediately a ring. Now, it's not silver. You can see the brass coming through, so the diamonds probably aren't real. I haven't tested them yet. But it did show up a ring right after that lead weight. And that is typical for this section. A few more steps later, I got a silver earring, possibly. I didn't test the diamonds there yet either. And then I hit a quarter, and that is exactly what you want to see. If you're seeing lead weights and quarters or quarter-size coins, you're hitting a hot spot, and you have to stick in that area. I hit another lead weight, and then I did get a silver piece with some diamonds in it. Again, they're probably fake. You can watch the video on Saturday to see what actually came of that. And then I continued to hit this area. If I hit a target like the ring, I will do a circle around it and span it out, and I will zigzag and I will go straight through this. I really want to make sure I'm not missing anything. And by the time I finished there, I did get a couple more quarters. I think I got this foreign coin. Yep, I got a foreign coin, more lead weights. And then, believe it or not, all those heavy targets started to disappear. Now I noticed when I got to this section, so I'm walking along the beach and I'm trying to look behind me where my dig holes are, that I covered up, by the way, but you can see the sand where it got shifted around. I'm trying to make sure I'm following that same line as I go along. I look behind me. Are the holes behind me? Yep. But at some point, the slope of the beach definitely changed. So either, well, I'm pretty much guessing that the target started to lie deeper, possibly beyond where my detector can pick up, but it all went quiet. And I continued on for a little while, but then 0 targets. The slope was different. The sand felt different. I had lost that actual line. So then I, again, because I had a little bit of time left, I moved up a little bit closer to where the bottom of our hill is, in the sand. And I was seeing a lot of debris. That's where I picked up these gloves. And periodically I was getting nickels, pennies, dimes, nickels, pennies, dimes, but no lead weights and no rings, no potential jewelry, and absolutely no bigger coins. So although I don't mind picking up nickels and dimes, if you're short of time and you really want to be efficient at possibly finding some rings and some bigger coins, then follow those lead weights and any stones that are showing up in the sand, because it's definitely very, very consistent with finding better targets. If only that was gold. My twin brother just the other day pulled this whopper of a class ring out with the same technique. He followed the lead weights